Yeah, I have to put this on.
It's all this shit.
Sorry that I scratched you.
That's okay. Oh. Alright. Yeah, it's good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here. We have a newcomer on stream this time. We have Joshua, the invader from Netherlands, trying to take our points again. But we've weared him off once, but can we do it again? This time it is Charel. We have seen Charel the commanding lead earlier versus Apollo, but is he able to recreate that versus Joshua right now? Both these players are, of course, our top players. They're both 2-0. So let's take a look at what the ambition could be. Zamazenta has proven to be a difficult matchup for Calyrex, but Charel has seen the matchup. He's played the matchup against me as well, from all people. So honestly, he should know how to play, what the options here are. So considering all of this, let's see what the leads are from both these players and how they are going on about this, because Chi can be a very important Pokemon, being able to just bash on through with a lot of damage. Hey, the double slowpokes as well. As we have no support grandma, but support friend in the back. We have Regieleki and Landorus from Shadow Side, but it's Zamazenta and the Fluttermane. Regieleki is one of the fastest Pokemon in the game, naturally, but Fluttermane, of course, has its boosted energy, being able to boost its speed and giving that potential of speed control. Now, Landorus itself is able to hit either of these Pokemon also really hard. That's unfortunate, as these players have to decide what to do. Zamazenta does not like to be hit by Earth Power from this, of course, from this Landorus. But considering that option, you do have the Terra, you don't have the Terra. There's a lot of options. You can also just play it safe for a turn as well, see what the opponent might do, but if you do, the opponent might capitalize on that, get a free switch or something. There are always options like this. As now, we do have the lead. It is the immediate turn 1 Terra. We love to see it. It is going to be that Zamazenta, making sure it is able to resist either of these Pokemon's through stab moves, being of course Electro Thunderbolt, and even the Earth Power. So being able to take neutral damage is always good for Zamazenta, as it has a lot of good resistance thanks to its Terra. We have the Terra Water as well from the Landorus, being able to survive any sort of water move from this Fluttermane just as well. As we are going to see, look into the speed tiers. It is Icy Wind from Fluttermane first, so we have confirmation Fluttermane is faster than Regieleki. Regieleki's speed will fall, as will the Landorus's as well. Body press into that Landorus slot proves to be not enough just yet. Volt switch into that Fluttermane. Critical hit as well, doing a lot of damage here, as now the Landorus is able to go for an attack just as well. Another power, a Sandseer. There's options enough, as the Indeedee is the one to be switched in, as it is able to redirect or even go for a potential Trick Room for later Pokemon as well. You have the Earth Power, just a certainty, being able to kill the Fluttermane and having the kill there. With that, the speed control on Joshua's side is gone, but not to fear, because we still have the fearful combo of Zamazenta plus the Chimpao. Chimpao, thanks to its Sword of Ruin, being able to lower all the defense of all the Pokemon, but not affecting the damage that gives out to Body Press, meaning this Body Press has been boosted by its defense and has also been boosted by other Pokemon's defense being dropped thanks to the Chimpao on this field, so it is able to deal a lot of damage. Landorus just going for a protect here, but we stay safe for just one more turn, as the crunch is coming out into that Indeedee slot. Not KOing it just yet, lowering the defense though on the Indeedee, as the Body Press is going into that Landorus slot, meaning that this Indeedee will be able to survive for at least one turn, And if it is able to survive one turn, that means it is able to set up this Trick Room. And now the Landorus is one of the most feared Pokemon onto this field because Sucker Punch is not going to work as there is Psychic Terrain, of course, and it really has potential to redirect a move as well from either of these Pokemon. The Landorus will not be able to kill any of these Pokemon thanks to the Focus Sash, but a double up from either Pokemon could prove to be very useful. Something that is going for the Protect here. Let's see what Charel has opted to go with. It's just double protect from either Pokemon. So Charel has opted to show what his plan was. It is the Earth Power into that Chien-Pao slot, as the Indeedee itself is going for the Alluring Voice, trying to make sure that this Chien-Pao at the very least is going down. Alluring Voice, not a super strong move, but you can go get that confusion, of course. And now with the plan set in motion, a Trick Room turn stalled out, it is time for Joshua to change gears here and take it a bit slower, as the switch in here is going to be Nemesis, which is of course that beautiful Among Us Earth Power into that Zamazenta, doing a lot of damage. Alluring Voice as well into that Zamazenta, doing a lot but not enough, because it will survive as the Body Press will kill this Indeedee. As we know, this Indeedee was safety goggles, so it was able to redirect any sort of moves from the Among Us. Like Spore, for example, but now Charel is back again, being prone to the Spore as well. So now you're playing still a dangerous game. There's still a few turns of Trick Room left, and there's still things to consider. Among Us can't Spore any of these Pokemon, for example. You can double protect with either Pokemon, so that there has to be made a choice. The Zamazenta is very low, so you're able to, or you can double attack, or you can double protect, or you can make a mix here of plays here, which is the funny thing, because Zamazenta is able to protect and then Among Us is able to Spore, as this could prove to be quite safe here, as we have the Zamazenta protecting here, the Spore into that Calyrex slot, which will be taking one turn of sleep already, as the Landorus is still able to move here. As it is going to be Sandsear Storm. Let's see if it manages to connect onto this Among Us, because it is not 100% accurate, so that means it can always miss, as we can see just right there. Psychic Terrain is gone, so Sucker Punch or any sort of speed move is back online. Calyrex has taken one turn of sleep, so it might just as well wake up in the following turn. So this is still a scary position to be in. There's still Trick Room up, so Joshua has to consider these factions, how many turns of Trick Room there still are left. We see just another Spore into that Landorus slot, meaning that now the next Pokemon to potentially wake up is Calyrex first. Calyrex taking his second turn of sleep, as now the Landorus takes his first turn of sleep, and Body Press will do quite a bit of damage onto the Calyrex Ice, but it is able to hang on. But now you have the fear of the potential of the Landorus wake up, or even the Calyrex Ice Rider. The chances are there. It doesn't mean that it's guaranteed, but the Calyrex has a little bit more chance to wake up instead of the Landorus right now. So let's take a look at what might wake up in the following turn. They could just as well both stay asleep. It is Body Press into that Landorus slot. Let's take a look if the Calyrex decides to wake up, because you could have a Broken Sash and you could have a KO onto this Calyrex. It did wake up, Calyrex is awake and going for that Glacial Lance, will be able to kill the Zamazenta, doing a bit of damage onto the Chien-Pao, as now Among Us is the next last Pokemon on Joshua's side. Now Charel still has a Pokemon in the back, of course, being that Agility, being out of Trick Room, being able to go for the Electro, for example, or even just go for strong moves, trying to make sure that this Among Us is not able to survive anything. Terra is no longer an option either on Joshua's side, so Terra Water would not have been an option even if kept this late. So very well played there by Charel, trying to look at the potential options here. Calyrex going for Protect here, trying to scout out what the options here are. We have the Thunderbolt just going into that Chien-Pao slot. No raw Rage Powder in sight, meaning that Chien-Pao is gone and out. Well, this Among Us is the only thing able to move, and it's going to be a Spore into that Regieleki. And now Calyrex being able to kill this Amoonguss at any time right now. Very well played by both players. Trying to dance around the options, around the trick room, around the speed interactions here. The early Terra with Shadow with Landers was really keen, being able to survive there, getting a speed drop, but capitalizing on it by being able to use that trick room with Indeedee. But now Joshua has learned that Indeedee is able to survive a crunch just as well.
Non, lui c'est de du coup, tu mettras que ah oui, oui, oui. D'abord son état. On va aller checker un truc. Ouais. Oui, mes personnages avec 5.
Okay, so adaptation-wise, like different plays from Charel could have been like not going for protect there. Instead, the option was still there for Joshua as well to being able to attack. Still, like it's still awkward position because you're able to wide guard the main attack from, of course, Ice Rider, which means it's no longer able to hit the Amoonguss or even the Zamazenta with a turret for super effective damage, but still being able to deal quite a bit. So let's take a look at the adaptations here. Okay, so with the options here in hand, let's take a look at what these players are bringing. Joshua could opt out of this play of just going around the trick room and just going right through these Pokemon as well. You have the options, you have the damage output as well with Zamazenta Chimpao. You just have to consider this Regieleki is coming or not. It is Amoonguss plus the Calyrex Shadow, and we have the Fluttermane plus the Zamazenta just as well. This is not something you'd like to see, as Amoonguss is an annoying Pokemon to deal with. It is Rocky Helmet, so it can be. It is not something like Mental Herb or something if the Fluttermane should have Taunt, but it is still not the greatest thing to have in front of you, as Fluttermane does have Terra Grass, is able to make sure that it's not able to be redirected. But then the other issue at hand is that the Fluttermane is that Terra Grass and weak to very much anything this Ice Rider might be throwing out at it. You could then go the passive round and keep wide guarding, but then the Amoonguss is able to just spore in that regard. So lead-wise, Charel already having a good selection of options here, while Joshua just has to react to them, has to choose where to cover, really. So considering the options at hand, you could very well just opt to double up onto a slot as well, but then protect is there. So there's a lot of layers to this, what to consider, as we have the immediate Terra this time around. It is going to be that Terra onto that Cali Ice. So it is now a water type, being just an amazing defensive typing, really, as it is able to make sure that Shadow Ball is not hitting it super effectively anymore either, as we have Shadow Ball. So no rage power coming out, so could as well been a double up into the Cali slot, but that's very hard call to make. Heavy Slam plus Shadow Ball doing a lot of damage to his Amoonguss, and you need damage on his Amoonguss, as Rock Helmet takes a bit as the Spores comes out, and that does mean the only thing that can follow up is now a beautiful Trick Room, because the Calyrex moved after the Amoonguss. So your Zamazenta is asleep. It can do a lot of damage to your can do a whole lot of damage. You do have options to try. There's always options with the Summon Center team within Trick Room, which is your own Amogus, and Charel actually knows that his Amogus is really important and switching it out, so no Spore coming out from that regard. Indeed, switching in, it is safety goals indeed, so being able to redirect at any time just as well. Fluttermane switching out as well, so Charel being one step ahead because this Amogus might be coming in, it might even survive this Glacial Lance, but it will not spore this Calyrex as the Summon Center takes its first mandatory turn of sleep. As the high horsepower is actually the one to come out doing a bit of damage. You know, you always want some damage onto the Summon Center, which is always good. But now you do have to consider like Indeedee being able to redirect freely, while the Summon Center is able to attack freely just as well. So considering these options, Indeedee will always try to follow me or even Helping Hand. We have just a Helping Hand coming out. Let's see if we have the Spore coming out. It's just protect from the Amogus, trying to make sure that trying to keep one more turn. High horsepower, barely missing out on the kill. Is Summon Center gonna wake up? Didn't wake up just yet, as another third of Trick Room has passed. But now Glacial Lance is able to kill the Summon Center from this range. It is with Helping Hand, it is able to kill the Amogus as well. But Summon Center has a high chance of waking up, and a Wide Guard plus Spore could just very well prove to be enough to be quite useful. But then again, Indeedee has that follow me, has that safety goggles. So a lot of layers here, what to consider the best optimal play here, because it is not an easy task at all to choose what to do. As we have the selection here, we have the Terra from Joshua's side. Joshua is opting instead of the Summon Center because it is low, it is already going to die from any sort of attack from the Calyrex Shadow. Let us go for Terra Water with his Amogus, being able to potentially spore this Calyrex, as indeed Calyrex is actually the one protecting. So Indeedee going for that step further yet again. Summon Center wakes up, goes for the Wide Guard, which will protect it for Glacial Lance, but not from this Indeedee being able to go for its own move right now. Sludge Bomb into that Indeedee slot, doing a bit of damage, getting the poison, which is very nice, 30%. Just trying to make sure that it is being able to be killed. And the Alluring Voice will kill the Summon Center, meaning right now no more Wide Guard in this game. We have 2 more turns of this Trick Room, and we do know that there's a Amogus in the back that has taken quite a bit of damage, but is using Regenerator to heal back up a bit. So, with these following turns, still a lot of things to be chosen to do. You can still spore into this Calyrex slot, but then Indeedee would follow me. But Charel hasn't clicked follow me a single time just yet. Being that confident of that there was not gonna be a spore here, so Joshua has him to choose if he's gonna or if he's not. But honestly, it is a hard call to make still, as we have these players locking in what might be the final turns of Trick Room and might be the final turns of this game, because this could prove to be very important right now. It is going to be a protect from the Amogus, just stalling out another turn from this pesky Tailwind, and racking up Sludge Bomb damage as well with the poison as well. We have to follow me from the Indeedee, so it did reveal his hand of wanting to go for follow me as a high horsepower. It's going into the Amogus slot. It is not going to be able to be enough to KO it. I would have taken Rocky Helmet damage, but still in this kind of position, it is still very nice to have this kind of options. And now the terrain is gone. You can go, for example, for a Surgery Strikes onto the slot. You might be able to KO it and then go for a Spore, as you know that your Amogus is able to survive anything that might be coming out. So this Sludge Bomb plus Poison is proving to be very useful right now. This is why Sludge Bomb is still an interesting move, because even if you can't Spore, you can still Poison, which is very useful. It's definitely when you get taunted to and from, or even followed me by other Pokemon. Sludge Bomb is a really good option from Amogus because it has respectful special attack stats. So being out of the Trick Room, Joshua has to try and stay out of the Trick Room and trying to see what Charel can do to try and get the repositioning. We have the Indeedee switching out, Indeedee going into the Amogus. That was a fear that could have happened just as well. And so we have a close combat into that Amoonguss. Amoonguss taking that quite decently as the -1 defense now on the Urshifu. It is safety goggles Urshifu, so it can ignore the Amoonguss later on. High horsepower from the Calyrex, not doing any sort of damage, as now Amoonguss is able to go for the Spore, and that will be a sleepy Calyrex. Now, in this positioning, you do have safety goggles Urshifu, which is very nice, but on the other hand, well, you can't spore that. There's suddenly another Pokemon you can spore, which is of course that Tarawater Amoonguss itself. So considering that, do you try and go for to KO the Amoonguss first and then the Calyrex? Because the Calyrex still hasn't gone on a boost, it still hasn't taken a mandatory turn of sleep. Like, there's a lot of things up in the air, really. So we have to protect from the Amoonguss. Depending on who's faster or slower, this might be important as well. We have a close combat into that Calyrex. Slot doing decent enough damage, making sure that this Calyrex getting lower and lower by the second. As Calyrex is taking its first mandatory turn of sleep. Amoonguss is going for Spore, trying to get this, trying to get the Urshifu, which is clearly safety goggles on the team sheet, but Charel not forgetting or maybe thinking there was going to be a switch out, you know. So it's a good thing commentary wasn't that lacking, but still decent enough. That Amoonguss was not able to do anything in that regard anyway in that position. So what is the next line of play that Charel wants to go for? This is why the Urshifu is really practical in usage. I've been piloting the similar team. He went for Rage Powder after just finding out that Spore doesn't work. Close combat is gonna kill the Calyrex, is gonna be able to be enough. As now Amoonguss on Charel's side will be the one to carry it together with Indeedee. And there's still a Pokemon in the back. So both restrictors are gone. Sludge Bomb into the Amoonguss. It hang on by a thread there. But now kind of awkward, as now the switching will be that Landorus, and Landorus will not be enjoying any sort of move here, as it can potentially kill either of these Pokemon if it's modest. If it's timid Landorus, it can guarantee be fast in the Urshifu. We have both Rage Powders on both ends, I guess, as right now we have the Surging Strikes coming out and proving that that's a modest Landorus and a jolly Urshifu as well. Keep Rage Powdering, maybe it might work, you never know. There's also, you know...
If I Rage Powder enough, it might go away.
Yeah, so if you keep Rage Powdering, the safety goggles disappears. Everyone knows that rule.
Yeah, that's the thing.
As now, Charel only has 2 support Pokemon, not really able to deal any sort of damage to either of these. So this is looking very much like we're going into game 3. It's fine, it's fine. What?
It's all says. What? Like, I also forgot safety goggles.
Wait, you also forget safety goggles on Indeedee? Alright, so reading is no longer an option. Apparently, both players have forgotten that Spore moves were not gonna be able to work. This is a new level of play, of course. Okay, but that does mean that we're going into game 3. Very well played and adapted there by Joshua.
So say, like, yeah, I'll just win this.
Pissed. Sorry about the noise. Alright, I'm gonna move my mic a little bit closer here. So we're here at game 3. It is time. Both these players are 2-0, and really one of them can be already guaranteed for this top 4 that we have. So, adaptation-wise, we saw Charel lead with the Regieleki game 1, and it really working out quite nicely, doing damage onto the Pokemon, not being the fastest thing on the field, but being proven to be useful. And also, like, Joshua looked at the game and saw that even as when Samacenta is gone, it is still very much a win con to make sure that your opponent doesn't read your team sheet. It's a win con. You try, you go for it. He's definitely missed. He's Mystic Water. He's Sash. He's Scarf. He's not safety goggles. No, and sorry, that word is too long to read. Yeah. It's so far down. Yeah. Alright, we have Calyrex and the Amoonguss as a lead from Charel's side. Well, we have Amoonguss and the Chiyu. And Chiyu is the bring here for in this game 3, which does threaten either the Calyrex or the Amoonguss. But that is, of course, the thing as well. Charel will have to consider many things, as you have Terra to consider. You have Heat Wave to consider, you have Overheat to consider. There's a lot of options. A lot of things to consider here. So what will the option be? So it is looking like these players are locking in quite fast. Charel's still thinking about his play because, of course, Calyrex does have Terra Water. His Amoonguss has Terra Water. So being able to survive a Heat Wave is key right now. And being able to make sure that you have the tools to deal with the later Pokemon in the game as well. Charel wants this Trick Room, but do you want it immediately, or do you want to just be able to KO this Amoonguss? Because if you set up Trick Room, the Amoonguss is suddenly one of the fastest things on the field as well. So considering all of these, what is Charel doing? It is Terra. Terra onto the Amoonguss. Amoonguss going for that Terra Water. Amoonguss going for that Terra Water. It is Protect from Calyrex. So let's take a look at what the options here are. We have Overheat into the Amoonguss. Amoonguss being able to take that quite well now that it's become a water type. Still almost 50%. Chiyu is a scary Pokemon. Spore is coming out from Nemesis into that Cali slot. That means Amoonguss is free to move. So right now Charel does seem to have made the perfect play with the Spore. And with that Spore, being able to make sure that his Chiyu is out of commission for at least one turn. And now, again, having to decide what the possible options are here for Charel. The Amoonguss is afraid of a possible Glacial Lance, but it can definitely survive one. It can also protect him, switch out. Like, there's a lot of options still here. But this turn 1 was really important, and Charel made the correct call, which is not easy at all in this position. Deciding to not Terra his Kelly Ice and just keeping its not the greatest defensive typing. Let's leave it at that. As Chiyu takes his first turn of sleep, high horsepower into that Chiyu slot will be enough to KO it. As right now we'll get an attack boost just as well as his Amoonguss is still able to freely to move on Joshua's side, and that does mean that there is that Spore coming in. So with that Spore, Cali is going to bed. No Trick Room immediately as Amoonguss is going for the Spore onto the opposing Amoonguss. You never know. He might have Terrat. That was honestly not a bad play. Yeah, it is an option. It is a better option than clicking on the Pokemon that was not going to be able to switch out that has safety goggles. So let's take a look at what the next line of play is. So Chiyu is gone, but there's still Zamazenta onto the field, being able to deal a lot of damage. Now that Amoonguss has lost its good defensive typing, Body Press is suddenly doing a lot more damage there in that regard. But considering all of these options, you do have to think about the later state of the game. So Calyrex must take its first turn of mandatory sleep. Amoonguss can go for Protect. So let's take a look. Okay, we have the Rage Power from Nemesis, the Among Us from Joshua's side. And the body press coming into the Calyrex, doing quite a bit of damage. We've already seen it do quite a bit. Calyrex taking his first mandatory turn of sleep. As now the opposing Among Us is able to go for the Spore. And going into that Among Us slot, expecting a potential switch or even a Terra there. There were still options there. But like a Protect from Summons that could have just as well happened. So now with this position, it is yet again a game turn where you have to see if the Among Us is able to survive. It is not able to survive this right now as the Among Us does go down to body press. The first mandatory turn of sleep has been taken by the Calyrex Ice, so is it able to wake up right now and do some damage here? Calyrex is actually opting to sleep for another turn. So do you think the horse wakes up first or the Calyrex does? Like who wakes up who? Like, who's the most important one to wake up?
Probably the horse, right?
And you would think the horse. The Calyrex does control him. Like a sleeping horse with a rider, a horse would still run, but a rider onto a horse, you can still throw stuff.
If you think it
Yeah.
you really think like a big onion could wake up a horse, I don't think so.
Yeah, big onion can wake up a horse. Everyone's seen it. All right, I'm finding a horse, getting an onion, throwing the onion at it. If it doesn't wake up, you win. Okay. All right. So with the options at hand, we have the Indeedee, of course, with the safety goggles as well. We do know that it is rather bulky, being able to survive a move from the Chimpao earlier with the crunch. So should be able to survive as well a move from this Zamazenta. Now we have the Terra online from this Among Us, going for the Terra Water, trying to make sure that it will not be able to feint to any sort of ice moves from this from this Glacial Lancing Ice Rider, as the helping hand is coming out. We have the body press into the Calyrex, and that will prove to be enough onto the Calyrex. And now the Among Us is still onto the field and not able to spore, but it's fine because Among Us got hands, Sludge Bomb, and yet again a poison.
Does he have hand? He has like
He has hands. What do you call those? Yes, yep. Okay, let's give him hands. Like, I'm willing. He can pick up stuff. If he can pick up stuff, it's hands. Licky tongue is his tongue is my favorite hand, by the way. All right. So, okay, so now Terra Water Among Us suddenly proving to be a bit more of a risky option, as now you do have this Regieleki being able to go for electric type moves. Now, Zamazenta is an incredibly durable Pokemon, being able to tank a lot of hits, but is it able to survive anything that's coming out from this Calyrex? It is helping hand yet again onto this Regieleki. Let's take a look at how much damage it can do. It is protect from the Among Us, isn't going into that Zamazenta. Regieleki going into that Among Us, not working out. Body press coming out, and that is going to be the end of the Indeedee. It was not gonna live.
Yeah, I do.
All right, there's no way that Among Us lives. That is a Regieleki. You respect him. That's why I told you. And that is GG, as right now the Zamazenta is able to go for a strong body press here right now into the Regieleki. Regieleki Sash, he's still alive. He's still hanging on. It's still going strong. It wants to fight for its master. As the master is giving away his team sheet. What are you doing, master? Master, no. Like I can still fight. I got look. I didn't hear no bell. What do you mean? Thunderbolt and into the Urshifu, and Urshifu will go down. See, and now all I have to do, master, is just dodge like they do in the anime. Dodge, Pikachu, dodge. No! And unfortunately, that big splash will be the end of the Regieleki and of this set as well. And that is GG. Well played, Joshua, going 3-0 into the next round.
That was the best Pokemon.